Welcome to 5-Minute Mediumship, and in this video I wanted to look at how and when we can use our psychism to actually support us moving up to spirit. Okay, so we're going to look at how to use some of our psychic abilities to support that linking with spirit. And I want to be really clear that if we're working with a contact, we're working with a contact, we're not working psychically. If we're working psychically, then we're tuning into the person, the living person that we're working with. However, when we're working with spirit, and generally within life, our energy always fluctuates. So sometimes there can be aspects of psychicness that come into that sense of communication, and we might be aware of those, we might not. But what we need to do and what we should do is to keep our awareness and to keep our energy with the spirit contact. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. However, there are some situations where we might find it useful to actually first start working psychically and then allow our energy to move up to spirit. And one of the reasons that we might find this useful is because our energy is not quite in the right place when we are actually working, and it could be a private sitting or it could be a demonstration. The other reason that we might want to start off working psychically is because there's been significant changes in the way that we are working, and it may be that we're simply not recognizing the energy and the contact actually stepping in to work with us. As with anything, our mind plays a huge part in how we're working and what we are becoming aware of. So where we feel as though we are struggling to link, or we're not sure that we've got a contact, we're not sure of who they are or how they feel or the information that we're aware of about them, then of course we're going to struggle, because our mind is saying I'm struggling, therefore our energy comes down and we actually find it harder to be aware of that particular contact. So we can start to work psychically. Now, I absolutely would not recommend this when you're working with a divine service. It's not appropriate. You can use it if you're doing a one-to-one sitting, and you can also use it when you're doing a platform dem that isn't a divine service. But always be clear to your recipient how you're going to work, and you don't necessarily need to tell them that you're struggling to understand your own energy, or your energy is not quite in the right place. But be honest and tell them, I'm going to work with you psychically first, and then as spirits start to step in, I'll move my energy up and work with the contact. Now, the reason this works is because as we're trying to link, our mind and our energy is focused on trying to link. And when we try anything, invariably we fail, because we either do it or we don't. We either get it or we don't. So when we're in that process of not quite trusting where we are, not quite trusting our own energy, because maybe we've had a really awful day and we haven't been able to get to that place of centeredness, or maybe, as I said before, our energy, the way that we're working and understanding and attuning to spirit is going through some significant changes, so we're doubting our ability and we don't have the same level of confidence and self-belief that we did before. All of those things make it harder for us to actually perceive the contact and to be aware of them with us, and also to be aware of how they're working with us and the information that they're bringing forward. So by starting to work with your recipient psychically, you actually take your mind out of the process. You take that awareness of, am I linking? Have I got a contact? Why haven't I got a contact? You take that totally out of the way, because you're actually working psychically. And you don't want to work psychically for a long period of time. You want to work psychically for 30 seconds, a minute at the most. You might give the recipient 1 or 2 pieces of information about them that you're aware of, and then, because your mind is free, because your energy is elevated, because you're working, you will then become aware of the spirit contact. Now, as soon as you started to work psychically and the spirit contact knows that you're working with their loved one, they're going to step forward. It's just that when your energy is not quite in the right place, or when your energy shifted and you're not quite sure or confident in how you're working, then you're not aware of that contact. So working psychically and giving that 30 seconds or a minute of psychic information actually opens your energy up, and you will start to become aware quite strongly then of the contact. And the key, obviously, at that particular point in time is to shift your awareness to the contact. As soon as you take your awareness to them, that link will start to be stronger. You'll start to be aware of the communication, aware of the energy, and you'll be able to relay what the contact would like to relate to their loved one.